Hey, how you doing today? Got some images to share with you here. This is for perspective here. This is 178 millimeters, and these are the kind of things that I pick up on the infrared, and they just sit out there in twilight sparkle. And so you never know what they are until you take a photograph of them, if it's a plane in the distance or exactly what, when you're looking at it through infrared. So I take the pictures and look at them later, check out, see what it is that I've got. And what I've got here, I don't know, to be honest with you. But it does seem to come in two pieces, so to speak. It's like this unit right here, and then the umbilical unit to the rest of the, I don't know, unit or life form, best I can tell. Not something I've ever seen in any biology class or anything. But nonetheless, they're still there, and I just don't know what they are. Now, those first three images were from December 17th. And I just put them in here to give you an idea that these things are around here all the time, whatever they are. And you can tell, in my opinion, what they're doing is basically gathering up gases from the atmosphere, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, whatever, and they're forming it into some type of a plasmic cloud and using it as propulsion, possibly, or a light source, or else they're just exactly light itself in some kind of life form. This guy here I've seen zooming around before. I've got a video of this thing passing in front of the moon one time, and it was leaving an exhaust trail. And it's got these little pins or focal points on this that very prominent in some of the other photographs I have of it. Putting out a lot of energy, whatever it is. Again, here's another perspective photograph. It's about 170 millimeters. And you can clearly tell it's not an airplane of any kind. At least not one that I'm familiar with. This thing here, little flying baked potato, basically. You can see the louvers on it, so to speak. These darker areas here. And this clamshell type opening here. And then the rounded back like it's a form like a baked potato that can open up and fly around just somehow. I mean, I honestly don't know. This is another perspective photograph here. Give you an idea. A lot of my photographs got this cell phone tower in it, and it's down there by the river. This thing's about a half-mile away. You see that object there in the background? That's a close-up of it. And you can see how these things are kind of a two-piece unit, so to speak. You got the head of it, and then back here is the body, we'll call it, and then this plasmic umbilical cord, for lack of a better term, that holds these things together. Now, whether they're the same one or not, I don't know. Whether there's a bunch of them, could be. But you can see as they're going along, they just plasmic up. I mean, they just turn into an absolute ball of plasma and just swim along, basically. And you can see the two pieces there. Now, I don't know, are they dividing in midair, like cellular division? Like, clearly it's not an airplane or a drone of any kind that I'm familiar with. Here's another perspective photograph for you. Pick this up on infrared as two blinking lights in the distance. And then when you zoom in on them, you can clearly see that that's not an airplane. And again, you can see the two pieces, so to speak, or three, I guess, in this case. But it's almost as though this thing is trying to undulate and give birth or divide as it's flying along. Another picture enlargement of the one down the bottom. These are just some random images I took, and that to me, this one here is just Says it all, doesn't it? I mean, look at this undulation and spiral flight formation, and you clearly distinctively see the two units, separate pieces of whatever this thing is. Like I said, there may be several of them out there zooming around, giving birth for all I know. This is up in the trees here. You can see them going in different directions. A couple of them there. It's an enlargement of that one on the bottom. Yeah, it might be a little out of focus, but nonetheless. Now these two here, up in the tree again. Well, not actually in the tree, but on the other side of it, down by the river, apparently. That's not an airplane. What in the world would two airplanes be doing with lighting configurations on them like this, flying nose to nose at each other? I mean, like I said, whatever you're looking at here, other people may never have seen before in history. I mean, I certainly haven't. I don't know if you have or not, but these are new to me, man. I'm telling you. Look at these things. This is flying along in formation. These are two separate life forms or living, mechanical contraptions of some kind, but they're not airplanes. There's a close-up of that one there in the bottom left. I mean, what in the world are you looking at? What, pray tell, is that thing? It's neat though, isn't it? I mean, see the bottom of it here? It's kind of like a waffle, sort of honeycomb kind of a thing. And then it's got this long umbilical cord, and then the rest of it here. That's just fascinating to me. I mean, like I said, you may be looking at something that nobody else has obviously seen before. Whatever it is, make a good thesis for a college report. Look at that. This has got, you can see here on this one that the light hole, basically, you see this on a lot of them. It's got this little conical shape, cone shape, and then at the top of the cone is a little light hole. And this looks like the umbilical attachment to the rest of it. You can see two different colors here. I don't know if it's like body parts to it, so to speak, different parts of its being. It's even farther separated. That's the one on the bottom. I saved this one here for the last, this photograph here. This kind of shows a lot, basically. You can see the umbilical cord and the head unit up to the body. And you can see how it's undulating, thick and thin here. And these light holes, this is looking straight on to one, almost like if you're looking down from the top onto the pyramid or triangle or cone shape. This one's a little bit better of an angle. You can see it, the cone coming down. It's just marvelous, whatever they are, in my opinion. I mean, they're incredible. They remind me of like goldfish or something, or some kind of, have you ever looked at a pond water through a microscope? You can see all these things undulating and swimming around. You may not know what they are, but they're definitely there, and so are these things. And they're swimming around the atmosphere like all the time. I don't know if they've always been there or they're just showing up recently, but anyway, I think they're just neat as they can be. Well, thanks for watching, and hope you have a good one.